G'day, and welcome back to Headlight Restoration Perth. This video is created from a job of opportunity, really. So my first job of the day, it fell through. So I found myself in an area where there was a lot of car yards. So I just went knocking door to door, and by chance, the second door I knocked on just happened to be this one where the one car that needed restoration, they let me have a crack at it. So as you can see, the before and after there. So, but what is funny is the week before, when I'd done a ring around to car yards and all that, this lad just shut me down and said, no, we're good. You know what I mean? So it's unless you actually go knocking, you just never know. So if someone tells you no over the phone, it doesn't mean they're going to say no all the time. So now that I got this opportunity, I might have got my foot in the door with another used car dealer. If not, that's fine. But I got to do one anyway. But also. I want to use this opportunity to thank all the people that have been commenting and viewing the videos and everything. So what I managed to do is, because I found this great spot to get my sandpaper, where he's basically got mass sheets and he just punches out whatever size and all that I want, So I just get the 3-inch, and with that ceramic grain that I do get, he does the 320, the 4, the 6, 8, and 1200 grit. So, and it's a great product. This one here, as I'm working with it now. So, I did try the 600, and this here has got a bit of 2K on it. So I think someone might have just sprayed it who didn't know what they're doing. So, I use the 600. And at first, but it just wasn't biting, so I did go down to the 400, as you can see, and that still didn't bite as well. So I even went lower, and I had to get that first layer off with the 320, and it done really well. But the thing is, the business that I use and that I've found is right here local to me in Perth, but being online and everything these days, you can easily order it. Doesn't matter where you are in Australia or anywhere else internationally. So and I will give you a code at the end here in a little bit that gives you a 10% discount on all the sandpaper requirements you need. The guy there, Josh, it's his business, great guy. He sort of like just took me around. He's got all different things as well. He's got the sandpaper, he's got the interfaces, he's got the backing plates, all different sizes. So, and like I say, he took me through what he has, and some of that sandpaper, I tell you what, it would grind away concrete. It was like I couldn't believe it. But so it doesn't matter if you're into the headlight restoration as such, or you might just be a do-it-yourself woodworker or metal worker. You could even be a panel beater or anything like that, So if you have a need for sandpaper, you can go to the link that I'll put in the description of this video, which I'm pretty sure is going to be easy to do. Not that I've ever done it before, but I'll just add the link to the description, and I will also leave the discount code there as well, so you can just use that. So you'll get a automatic 10% discount on the sandpaper or whatever else that you might want. He's got on his website, it has all the prices, different sizes, the 3, the 5, the 6, whatever. He punches it out anyway. So, a lot of people, you might have to buy like a box of 100 or a box of 50. Like literally, I can ring him up when I'm leaving home, and say, oh, I just need 10 of these, 20 of that, and he'll punch it out, and by the time I get there, it's just ready to pick up. So the convenience of that is unbelievable, and like to be able to find someone like that this early on in my little venture is super handy. So I thought, if it's a bonus for me, like I told him that, you might be able to get a few extra sales. So he's created this little 10% code for everyone who's watching this. And like I say, I will put that in the description under the video. But with this one here, like it's a 2009 Holden Calais. Nice vehicle. The headlights were shocking, but like I say, I did have to go through the whole thing with the 320, and both lights were as bad as each other. So I did the 320, then I went to I did go to the 4, the 6, the 8. I think I even used the 12 through this whole process as well. But you'll soon see that. But I just to get this job, that was pretty fortunate as well. I think you just walk in off the street. Like as soon as you start looking, you don't go into the office or anything like that and tell them what you do. You just walk around. You look at the car headlights. You hone in on a couple, and you don't go for the cheap cars, because when they're selling the cheap cars, not that this was super expensive, but a lot of the used car yards, you can get some really cheap and nasty ones, and then they will go up, and you'll find that car yards operate in price ranges, so you might get your $0 to $5,000 or $10,000 car, then you might get your 10 to 20s and your 20s to 50s. People sort of like hone in on like that with the car yard. So I've been finding out. So if you get a super cheap car yard, like they really don't care about the lights. It's just about the quick sale for the people that can't afford any more. So they don't spend any more on it because it's a cheap car. So this one is probably got a $10,000 to $30,000 range lot. There was a couple of Mercs and BMs and things like that, but this itself is a nice sedan. So I think they're asking probably around 10 grand. I'm not really can't quite remember, but the thing is, my point is that don't just look for the worst headlight. You look for the worst headlight in the most expensive car on the lot, because that's your sale. If they can get you to repair a car that's going to make them more money, and for whatever you might charge, that's more attractive to them, because it's all about the money and the quick sale. So if you can, like I say to them, it's all about the aesthetics. It's about the safety of the new driver, So, and like what I have found is on some of the ones that I have been doing, they've actually noticed, because of the clarity of the light going through the lens, they're saying, oh, this one's pointing down a bit or across a bit and all that. So if you're doing headlight restorations, and this is something that might pop up from time to time, you just advise them, like if you wanted to do adjustments, if you wanted to add it to your repertoire, you really could do that. But just as a general rule, you'd try to find a flat ground with a wall straight in front of it. You make sure that all the tyre pressures are at running pressure. That 32 psi is pretty standard on passenger cars, and you'd want it to be as the driving situation was happening. So if you're driving the vehicle, you'd want the person get someone in the driver's seat so it replicates how you'd be driving. So so when you're setting them up, you're getting a lot better accuracy. So rule of thumb, you'd have a level ground with a nice flat wall in front of you, and you'd want to be 25 feet back or 7.5 meters. So from the wall to your headlight, you want to be 7.5 meters. And then what happens is a lot of the lights, you'll see the little dot on the lens where it's straight in front of the globe and inside the housing itself. So you measure up from the ground to the height of that dot. Okay, so whatever the height of that dot is, you then go to the wall and then you measure that same distance to there, and you'll just put you can use some of your tape that you use to go around the surround, or just masking tape. It doesn't really matter, but when you push that piece of tape horizontally on that wall, you'd make the bottom line of the tape, the bottom edge, the same height as that dot or the globe on your light. So when you turn your lights on from 25 feet away, you want the highest point of that of the brightest section of that headlight. You want the top of that to be hitting just the bottom of that tape. Okay, and obviously on the headlights you'll find there should be a couple of adjusters, one to go up and down, one to go left and right. So you'll just hone it in. So like I say, flat ground, solid wall, 7.5 meters, 25 feet, height from the ground to the center of your headlight or wherever that dot is on your screen, lens, plus or the globe itself. You make sure that tape is representing that height on the wall, and adjust appropriately from there. So, because when you see the light beam, you'll see like the center of, you see a whole ray of light, but the center of it, you'll see there's a really more concentrated section of light. So with that, you just make sure that the top edge of that concentrated bit of light is just hitting just the bottom of the tape, right on that edge. And that's going to make sure that your lights are set up so, when you're passing people at night, it's not going to be angled off into their eyes and things like that. So that's just a really quick fix as well. And it could be a little additional piece you could actually do if you're doing headlight restorations. You can just do a quick adjustment as well if people need it. You might make a couple of extra dollars. But that's just something that I thought you might be interested in. If you didn't know that already. So so you can see here the lights ended up getting all that clear off, which did take a fair whack of effort. So that being said, going back to the Trizac by the look here. So so you've gone through all the sanding process. Now I'm looking at the 3000 3M Trizac pad. It's basically sanding, polishing pad. So it's just that good bit just to get rid of that dull sheen and the top surface of the plastic, and gives you a really good surface to throw some polish onto, so with that in mind, make sure you got a good plastic polish that you're using. Like I do use that Maguire's Plastex. I have just ordered the Chemical Guy Headlight Restorer. like even in the shops that we find here in Perth, who have a really good range of chemical guy, none of them actually stock that headlight restorer. So that's pretty surprising. They always do the kits and everything, but it goes to show how much of an industry this is. It's like an untapped gem. So if you can get your foothold in there now, you could really establish yourself moving forward. It might take you a few months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, but by that time, you'd be 18 months in front of everyone else, because the people that do this, even the detailing companies that do all the car interior, exterior, they don't even really do the headlights like this either. Like if you're going to do headlight restoration, because that's all I do. I don't do any other detailing, and I'm just not that way inclined. But I have been doing part of the cleaning industry. Like I can remember going to work with my parents as doing office work when I was 8 years old. Sitting in the back of an old station wagon. But so, and I think what it is for me personally is that satisfaction. Because you can go somewhere and it looks shocking, and an hour later you can get a heap of personal satisfaction from what you see right in front of you. And that used to be the same thing when I was in the cleaning industry and had my own cleaning business. You'd go see some shocking floors or carpets or whatever you were cleaning, and by the time you left, spot on. So like some people in some industries, you might have to wait a week, a month. If you're building houses, you could be months before you get that final satisfaction. But doing this, I get it an hour after I start each time, so I could be getting that few times a day, where some people might not be getting that personal achievement once a week. So that's what I appreciate about this. It is a real draw to me, Yeah. So, and it's becoming more so as I'm learning. So like I say, when you're doing the headlights, I'm finding that like that proper preparation promotes perfect presentation, and that is the case. So like I was saying, I'm using that Plastex. I did just get that chemical guy, so that should be here in another week, because nothing's too quick in the mail section. So, and I do believe it is a lot oilier than the Plastex anyway. So it is soaking in a little bit to this. So I believe with that the oil-based, or the more oil in it, of the chemical guy, I think it's going to really soak into that plastic a bit better. It might even be too oily. So if it is, I will do a mix of the Plastex and the chemical guy, just to see the difference, opposed to Plastex by itself, the chemical guy by itself, or the combination of both of them. So I think that with the combination, I think that might be a bit of a hit, really. And it's because I'd hate for the chemical guy to be really good, and then I wouldn't want to use the Plastex anymore. So because I've got a few bottles of stock on that, so I'm going to try that, because I think it might be a great combination. So so once again, I hope you appreciate any and all information that I'm putting out there. Like, I love your feedback. If you think I'm might be doing something incorrectly, or I could be doing it better or easier, if there's a different form, I'm happy to hear from you, because it's a learning opportunity for me. It's a little community that I'm trying to get cranking. So like I say, you will have the opportunity to get some cheap sandpaper and some products I will leave that link in the bio and the website so you can have a quick look. So yeah, so if this is anything that you want to follow, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll wait for and see how we go on the next one. So you have a great day, and keep on shining, I guess. The old sand and shine. All right, fellas, well, I'm done. So, yep, that's the result. Hope you like it.